Friends, I'll be talking to you now about the dangers of ego and self-righteousness, especially when this ego and self-righteousness creeps into the minds of the leaders. See, as people rise in their ranks, rise in their cadres, especially in the political ranks, they acquire more and more power. So power slowly kills all good humanitarian qualities, and with that the politicians or the so-called leaders, they expect people to please them by listening more attentively to whatever they say. Simply agree to whatever they say, simply laugh at their useless jokes, appreciate them, clap them without any argument, whether it is good or bad. So all these trickle their ego and their self-righteousness, and when the ego is trickled, it grows. But in the course of time, this ego and self-righteousness, they create a disorder in the power, disorder in the success, and the fame held for a period of years. So an unchecked ego and the self-righteousness, they can wrap the perspective or twist the values. So managing the ego, managing the self-righteousness, that slowly eats away the fortune, fame and influence. It is the prime responsibility of any leader in any field, not necessarily in politics. So when a leader is caught in the grip of the ego, wanting more and more power and wealth, he loses control. Ego makes him susceptible to manipulation. It narrows his field of vision and it corrupts his behavior and makes him act against the basic values of life. See, our ego is like a bomb that we carry with us. And like any bad target, the bigger it is, the more vulnerable it is to hit you. So this way, an inflated ego makes it easier for others to take advantage of the leader because the ego engulfs the positive attention. It can make the leader susceptible to manipulation. And this ego or self-righteousness, it makes him unpredictable. So when people know this, they can definitely play against him, play against his ego. And when you are a victim of your own unholy needs, you end up in making decisions that may be detrimental to yourself, your people, to your country, or to your organization. So an increased ego or the inflated ego, it also corrupts the behavior. So when you believe that you are the sole architect of your success, when that goes into your mind, once that comes to your mind and thinking, take the supporters or the voters for granted, then you tend to be ruder, more selfish, and you are more likely to interrupt others, come in the way of others. So ultimately, you felt the setbacks and criticism. So this way, an inflated ego prevents the leader from learning from his mistakes and creates a defensive wall that makes it difficult to appreciate the rich lessons that we gain from our failures in the past. So finally, an inflated ego narrows the vision of the leader. The egoistic leader, he always looks for only such people and such information that supports his ideas. Basically, a big ego, it makes the leader highly biased. And because of this, a leader loses his perspective and ends up in a leadership bubble where he sees and hears only what he wants. So as a result, he loses touch with the people he leads. And he also loses the confidence of the supporters, the values of culture, he loses the good qualities and whatnot. So coming out of inflated ego and avoiding the leadership bubble, it's a very important and challenging job, especially for the leaders. It requires selflessness, reflection, and courage to overcome this. See, here are some few tips that will help you. Consider the perks and privileges that you are being offered or a politician is being offered for his role, for their role. See, some of them enable them to do their job effectively, they are required. That is great. But most of the privileges and the perks that are given to them, they are simply the perks at the taxpayers' cost to promote their status and power, and ultimately their ego. It is only to promote their ego, their needs, and nothing else. They are absolutely, not required. So, if you are a good leader, support, develop, and work with people who won't feed your ego, who won't support your ego. Appoint smart people with the confidence to speak up against you when you go wrong. So, humility and gratitude are the cornerstones of selflessness. Make a habit of, taking a moment at the end of each day to thank all the people who were part of making your success on that day. So, this helps you develop a natural sense of humility by seeing how you are not the only cause of your success, and politely send a message of gratitude to those people who were a part of your success. So the inflated ego that comes with the success, the bigger salary, the nice office, the easy laughs, appreciations, it often makes the politicians, the leaders feel as if they have found the eternal answer by being a leader, by becoming a leader. But in India, for example, the good thing with the people is once a leader does one or two good things, a few good things for the people of the society, he will be admired, adored, and worshipped blindly for a minimum of 1 or 2 decades, even if he commits a series of crimes, frauds, irregularities thereafter. So people definitely change a wrong leader and a wrong system, but takes very long time. And during this long lead time, the leaders take maximum advantage. So that's why the middle class in the country are not able to see happy days. Even if they are heavily taxed, even if the prices of general commodities go up heavily, even if corruption in the system is rampant, even if children's education is very costly, even if hospital treatment and cost of medicines it is too high and is much beyond a common man's reach, the leaders, they have realized that for their survival, not this, attending to this is not required. Addressing these problems is not required. What they require is for continuing in power, for their survival in power, they have to encourage the brokers and commission. Positions in the government should be available for sale. Corruption should continue. Medical and education should be in the hands of the private fellows. All procedures and policies of the government should be as lengthy, complicated, confusing as possible. Rich people should be fed at the cost of poor fellows. Relief under law should be too much time consuming and costly. The miscreants and rowdy elements should be allowed to freely move about. The unrest, threat, and fear should always prevail. The policy of dividing the people on the grounds of caste, community, and religion should continue. Then any leader, once they capture the power, they can continue in power for long, whether they have the support of the middle class voters or not. Other things they are not worried. But the ground reality, the nature's law, and the ultimate truth is that time teaches a lesson. So it may be late, but should happen. The leadership is about people, and people change every day. So if we believe we have found the universal key to leading people, we have just lost it. So if the leaders let their ego determine what they see, what they hear, and what they believe, then their past success will definitely damage their future success. So this is what every political leader, however big he is, has to understand. And if you forget, people will definitely forget you. If you forget people, people forget you. So it is as simple as this. This is true in all the fields, not necessarily in the political field. It is true in all the countries for all the times to come. Yesterday's leaders are not today's leaders, and today's leaders may not be tomorrow's leaders. So this is what the time has taught us again and again. So that is Kala Yatasmai Namaha we say. So thank you very much, friends. Thank you.